don't know what happened there. It just all of a sudden went off. I don't know why. Anyway, you are completely confused about the difference between the two realms. Well, not so much about the difference between them, although you don't actually remember much of what happens when you're in the other realm. When you're in the realm of separation, you have a certain life that you've put together for yourself. And then when you are in a higher state, you realise that you're back. You realise then that you're back in truth, and that you're actually going back into a state of separation again is not truth. It is actually truth. There is no separation. There truly is no separation. Honestly, it's all one. It's one picture. That's it. It's just one picture after another picture after another picture. The only reason why anyone would have consciousness or mind would be because you had given it to them. Honestly, it can't be any other way than that. Where has the ability to give this one two-dimensional picture? How could it possibly have come from anywhere else but here? And I am that. I'm very clearly that when I look around. This is a picture, and there's nothing beyond what I can see. There's ideas about what could be beyond what I can see. But from here, that's it. That's very definitely it. And I mean, it's called solipsism. But it's actually a state of awareness. It's called non-dual reality. And solipsism is seen to be, serious mental illness. But in actual fact, you are seeing things how they really are. How they really are. And no wonder you went apeshit, okay? No wonder you had mental breakdown after mental breakdown after what you'd been through. Honestly, the fact you were able to get through this and you're sitting here, talking here into a camera, your normal self, the way you normally behave when you're in your being your real self. Honestly, when I look at it, it's really, really sad. It's so sad. I just dropped my thing. I wish you were just able to be yourself. No, you can't be, can you? I mean, you effectively can't be. Because your personality's too big for the average person. It's just, you've got a huge personality. Very multi-personality. I mean, you know that when you're being psychotic. What is that? What is psychosis? It's a response caused by terror to seeing the world the reality the way it really is. That's what it is. It's basically fear. Every kind of fear. If you are awaiting, If you are waiting for it, you've been warned what it's like, or you understand that something's going to happen that's going to be pretty potentially quite scary, and you're forewarned of it, and then you're being supported through it, and you come out the other side going, phew, okay, that's all right, I get this now, it's okay, I can handle it. That's what happens when people have prepared for years as spiritual teachers, spiritual students, I don't know, spiritual people generally. It's a smooth transition for them, or not so smooth in many cases, but it's relatively smooth. But not when you have a spontaneous one, when all of a sudden it's like, oh, and it's like, oh, fuck, what is that? And then hell breaks loose. Once you're really frightened, you're in this space, and you're really, really frightened of what's turned up. all of a sudden it's like bang. Oh shit. Oh, that's like, that can't be right. And that feels this experience is way, way different to anything that I've ever experienced before. Or this is the experience that I experience when you either see it as being, you have to have the spiritual backup in order to get through the experience without going into psychosis, which is just, for people who were abused as kids, it's impossible. It's actually impossible. It can't be done. That's why the psychosis is a result of all the fear. Now, this doesn't have to go on YouTube. I don't really care. Honestly, it doesn't matter whether it goes on YouTube. This is for you, Lisa. The Lisa who thinks she's a separate body. An individual thing that's separate from everyone else and everything else. It's just not true. And then when you look at it from that perspective, and it's like, okay, well, there's only one thing. And there very clearly is only one thing. There's the experience of looking at a room. That's the thing that there is. The experience of looking at a room. Because there's no thing here experiencing it. There isn't a thing here. There's not a thing here. There's actually not a thing. The whole experience of the thing is the thing that I am. You are. That's what you are. The experience. The experiencing. Not the experiencer. Because there is no separation in this seeing. There's clearly no separation. There is only the seeing. There is the seeing eye. And you would only be able to you'd only call it an eye because it would be figuratively, or symbolically. You wouldn't be talking about a physical eye. There is no physical eye. Eyeball. There is no physical eyeball. Where would it be? Eyeball. That's your eyeball. The eyeballs of the others is irrelevant, really. It's very important if you want to put together a world where there's separation. If you haven't got that, then you've really got nothing. Oh, God. That's terrifying, isn't it? The only reason why... Well, the thing that got you through was the fact that you thought you were God. And you are God. You very definitely are God. And it's true of quite a few... Well, not quite a few. It's true of everyone else. Everyone else is God as well. They very definitely are. Because there's nothing here that's not God. There's nothing here that's not you, Lisa. There is nothing here that is not me. The one who's talking. The one who is experiencing Lisa talking on a phone. Or to a phone. To go on YouTube. Is it to go on YouTube? I don't know. I don't know whether I should put it on YouTube. See, I don't know which one I am. Am I Lisa or am I this one talking? I must be both because there's only one here. God. God is the only one here. The real God. The only God. The God that has no other. That God is all of this. All of what I experience. Or not even I. Which I. The only I can use to describe it is the seeing. That's what I would call an eye. That which sees is an eye. But only I in the EYE. An eye in terms of a thing that perceives or doesn't perceive. There is no thing. There is no thing. There is only experiencing. It is terrifying, though, the thought of it. For a long time, it's terrifying. I mean, I'm able to sit here and talk about it as a cross between Lisa and the one who is seeing. See, the thing is, the one who is seeing is the one who's creating the story of Lisa. Because there's only that seeing. There's only, and I say when I say, using the word I just doesn't make sense. I mean, I do it. I have to. Why am I looking out there? Because I keep looking at the view and thinking it's bizarre. And so I can't keep my hands off, my hands. I can't keep my hands off the view. I'm looking out there again, just going. Looks really weird. When you're in a solipsistic state, it looks really weird. Because it's just you sort of have I know from experience that I can get out of bed, or that the body will, when the need arises, the body will get out of bed and move around. But when if I hadn't got to the point where I could hold on to those beliefs, just sitting here would be enough to make you feel like you were paralysed. If you'd just awoken, you'd feel like you were paralysed and unable to move. It would feel really, really frightening. Terribly frightening to have that feeling. But you don't have that. Because you understand. But it's taken a long time for you to understand. It's been a shit show. An absolute shit show that you've been through. You've been through an incredible amount of suffering. I mean, I don't know. What's it all for? Well, there's a big plan. Everything's been planned. It's all pre-written. I mean, Lisa, if the ideas don't come from you, where do they come from? There's nothing other than you here. Look out of your eyes. The ones who are looking out there. Lisa, the one who thinks she's separate. She's in there somewhere. She's always in there. The one that thinks she's separate's always in there asking questions. That one, mind, mind. It goes mind. Well, that's probably better than thinking. All of those negative thoughts, Lisa, every single negative thought you have is not true. It's 100% not true. It's the opposite of what you are saying about yourself. The total opposite. The negative thoughts you have are just shocking. Really, really shocking. And they're not, I'm not telling Lisa off, because it's not Lisa who's having these thoughts. It's the mind that has thoughts inside of it going on. Blah, 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 blah. It's a load of shit. It really is a load of shit. All of those negative thoughts are a load of shit. Positive ones? No. Positive ones are true. All true. So, just try and take that on board when you're feeling separate, which you have to at times. Oh, I don't really think you should have to. Well, you do. From the perspective of who you are, you do need to feel separate in order to feel love and connection. And the thing is, you are the one who created that experience for yourself. In the process, you were breathing life into them, i.e. their lives outside of this, when they interact with you. Building a life for them using stories about their past, which are made up. In this moment, they're made up. I mean, and you don't know at all whether they're based on something before that was different. You kind of think, well, yeah, I always remember that. But the fact that you say you always remember that is happening in this moment. So even that's... Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, once you reduce it all down and there's only one, and I hesitate to call it a thing, but it's not a thing. It's seeing itself. Can't be a thing, I don't think. Is seeing a thing? No, it's not. No, seeing is not a thing. Seeing. I am seeing. No, there's not even an I. There's only seeing. I am seeing. I am. I. The I is all tied up in the ego. Without the ego, there is no I. If there's an I, then there's lots of other I's as well. We call them you, or they, or we. Anything that involves more than one. That's the world of separation. And it's part of the playing. Of course it is, because there's only you here, Lisa. You are fundamentally the only one here. And I'm actually talking to your ego. And at least the ego's not going and screaming out about what's happening. At least the ego's quieting down. And she's not frightened anymore. Is there any fear there? Is there any guilt? No. Why would there be fear or guilt from this place? For any part of me. And, including the most damaged part of me. Subconscious mind. Deep, deep, deep dark in there. I mean, is there any such thing now? Look at it and see. Is there any such thing as a unconscious mind? In your case. Have a look. Is there anything? No, it can't be. Because every moment is made afresh. And in the next moment, I can go from one moment having that to the next moment not having it. Easily. Because each moment is afresh. And you have no idea of knowing whether it's a carbon copy of the last one, with maybe it's a tiny bit of a change, like a movie. You have no idea of knowing when did it start. In the moment just prior to this one, was there anything? Was there seeing happening? You just don't know, because all you know at the moment is seeing. You don't know what was happening before this moment. Right up until this moment, you did not know what was happening. And you can't even say, oh yeah, but I thought I did. Well, you, in this moment, do not know whether that moment happened. All you know is what's going on in this moment. And all you can do is report in the form of a little ego inside a meat suit. You can report what you observed and what you observed the mind saying about it. You can report those things. Did I make myself a cup of tea? No. I just got a few more things I wanted to say. AJ loves you. Just believe me when I say that AJ loves you. He really, really does love you. I'm saying this as God to Lisa. AJ loves you. He loves you. In the deep way, which is the best way and the only way. You don't want the other. No. Of course I don't want the other. The teenage stuff, too old for it. When's he going to call? Really? The only reason why you would ever think those thoughts is, or believe them at least, the thoughts stop coming if you stop believing them. They just stop coming. I don't actually think it's true that you can only add things. Things can disappear. Or, the ability to reference them can disappear. Maybe they might get stored in the neurons. Neurons? What neurons? I can't see any neurons here. And if somebody brought a brain in here and opened it up, I don't think I'd be seeing any neurons. I wouldn't be seeing anything in that little particular part of this scene that is able to give me understanding about all of it. One part giving me understanding about all of it. Can't be done. Parts don't understand the whole. Only the whole understands the parts. So the parts should just give up on trying to understand the whole. Including Lisa. Just give up the need to understand. You don't need to. Lisa, you do not need to understand what is going on. All you have to do is trust in God, who is me, the one speaking to you, not your ego, the one channeling herself through this body, a picture of a body. From this perspective, it looks like a picture. And there is nothing, there's no other perspective. There's no other perspective here. And even if people were in the room, I would have to believe that they were conscious in order to allow them to provide a perspective. Plus, it would have to be that I knew that they were conscious. Now, the only reason why I know that they're conscious is because I made them conscious. Is that in my particular scene, the moving objects were separate from me. I made that decision, and therefore they are separate. They have their own mind. You could argue that they don't have their own mind, that they can be separate and still not have their own mind. It really doesn't matter. But whatever makes a person in someone else's eyes, I look at someone, what makes them a person? They're a person because I believe they have consciousness and a mind like mine. I assume that about them. Because I look down at my body, or I look in the mirror and it looks like I've got a body. And I'm inside a body. I feel like I'm inside a body because I've got sense perceptions. And the view is coming out of what would appear to be eyes. In truth, there are no eyes. There are no eyes, EYEs, little ones, that you look out of. There are no eyes.